Yo, welcome back to another episode of Fight Bloodline. I'm your host, Cash Money, and I'm just truly sorry for missing our last episode. We all had stuff going on, me, my two co-hosts, Rampage Row, and Be Ready 303, but we are back this week. If this episode gets out a little bit late, it's just because of the editing and time. I got the current time right now for me. 3:13 p.m. April 25th. Before the fights start, I just want to run over my picks. And if you guys want, I'll post Be Ready and Rampage Rose picks. But I'm just trying to stay consistent, but it ain't easy. And I'm doing my best, okay? So videos are getting out later if we miss a card. So, no, like we're still here, we're still good, but we're just like time. I've been busy these last couple weeks. I missed the Izzy and Joe Pfeiffer card. I missed the what you call it? I can't remember. It was just last weekend. The Hanato fight, but that wasn't last weekend either. I can't. It was Mike Malott versus Gilbert Burns. It was a retirement fight. Shout outs to Gilbert Burns and Mike Malott. Two warriors, but Mike Malott did knock him out. I did take Gilbert Burns on that one, so that's a loss. But that's in the past now. We're looking more towards the future. What's better for us? And I'm trying to get everybody on more. I'm trying to get myself to commit more and make episodes. And but from here on out, I think we should try to upload. I'm trying my best. No more promises, okay? But I'm trying my best to get episodes out. I'm trying every week to do my picks. Just time and life. But let's get the moods up a little bit. Let's get this card going. So first we have a welterweight bout between Max Griffin and Victor Valenzuela. Max Griffin is 20-12 in his MMA career. 125 dog, 2-3 in his last 5. Compared to Victor Valenzuela, the -145 favorite, 13-4 in his MMA career, and 4-1 in his last 5. On this one, I went Victor Valenzuela. I just think he's the overall better fighter. It's not gonna be a crazy way. Max Griffin's already 40 years old. He's on his way out the UFC, and Victor Valenzuela. Excuse me if I'm saying his name wrong, but he's a young buck. He's 4-1 in his last 5. Like, he's a dog. He's got power, good wrestling, and it's not gonna be a super crazy fight. But I definitely think it shouldn't be. If I could compare it, it's not gonna be a banger fight, but it's just gonna be like a normal fight. Say if I say it goes the distance, I got Victor Valenzuela by decision or really however he wants. Max Griffin's out, he's old. This is time for the new fighters coming up, and it's a good thing. Anyways, moving on to the next fight, we got a strawweight bout between Talita Alencar and Juliana Polastri. Talita Alencar is 7-1 in her MMA career. The plus 205 dog, and she has 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss in her last 5. Compared to Julia Polastri, she's the 240 favorite, 14-5 in her MMA career, 3-2 in her last 5. On this one, I went Polastri. It's a females fight, so anything can happen here. But she's younger, quicker. But I don't think it's her quickness that's gonna win her this on the feet. I think it's her wrestling, and she's gonna show her dominance. And she's just going to show why she's one of the top female fighters in that division here soon. She's young and up and coming. She's got a lot of time in the UFC. She also is a little bit taller and has a lot longer reach, actually. It's crazy. I didn't look at the reach for this one. It's a big difference, 64 to 58. I don't know the math off the top of my head, but I know it's a little bit. And, I think Julia Polastri is just going to dominate. She's going to ground and pound, and she's just going to go in there and either win by decision or submission. Moving on to the next one, we got Rodolfo Vieira versus Eric McConico. It's a middleweight bout. Rodolfo Vieira is 11-4 in his MMA career, the 240 favorite and 3-2 in his last five. Compared to Eric Monaco, the 205 dog, 10-4 in his MMA career and 3-2 in his last five. This is my boring fight of the night. It's two older guys just trying to get wins. It's nothing crazy if one of them wins. They're kind of old. I don't think these guys are really going to do much in the UFC as no, going into the future at least. But I've seen Eric McConaughey, I've also seen Rodolfo Vieira. Seen these dudes both lose really badly. But this one, I couldn't really decide between Eric McConaughey and Rodolfo Vieira. They're both the same age, 36, both 6 foot. I lean more towards Eric McConaughey just because he's a little bit longer, his kicks are quicker, and I believe he can win this fight any way he wants. But it's honestly a 50-50 shot with this one. But if I had to favor somebody, it would be Eric McConaughey just because his kicks, he's longer, he's got the really good jab, and I feel like he'll either win it by decision or I don't honestly see these two finishing each other. But Eric McConaughey, I think he's got this one by decision. Moving on to the middleweight bout, one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. We got Siricus Dumas, 10-4 in his MMA career, the 174 dog, 1 win, 3 losses, and 1 draw in his last 5. Going up against Jackson McVeigh, the 199 favorite, 6-2 in his MMA career, and 3-2 in his last 5. Me personally, I went Siricus Dumas. On this one, I think he's looking for a KO. He had all that stuff going outside the octagon that lost him a lot of money. But he's been doing interviews with this guy on Instagram called Jaden Cable, so shout outs to you, my dog. We see what you're doing with all these fighters and interviewing them. We've had one fighter on our show, is Brandon Royval, so shout outs to him as well. And yeah, I think Siricus Dumas, is just quicker, and he wants that KO. He wants that performance of the night bonus. So this will all be going on my 3-pick parlay. I'm taking Siricus Dumas by KO, TKO, or sub. Yeah, I'm taking for a finish. And there should be, he's an underdog right now. So if we were to go put money on that when I finish out my parlay, which is fake money. But, yeah, I think Siricus Dumas by TKO, or sub. And Jackson McVeigh, I believe he's making his, maybe he might be making his UFC debut. I'm not 100% sure. He might be his second fight in the UFC. But I'd say that I only lean to him with the jiu-jitsu and ground game. Because Siricus Dumas always tends to, it's almost like a chicken cut off his head, a chicken without his head when it goes to the ground. He just sits there. So if Jackson McVeigh can get him to the ground, which he has to get close, and if he gets close to Siricus Dumas, I think Dumas takes him out. Here we got a bantamweight bout between a woman's bantamweight bout between Mayra Bueno Silva and Michelle Montegua. Mayra Bueno Silva, 10-6, 290 dog, 0-4-1 in her last 5. Compared to Michelle Montegua, the 355 favorite, 7-0 in her MMA career, 5-0 in her last 5. Mayra Bueno Silva, she got a title shot a long time ago against Raquel Pennington. And ever since then, she's just been on the losing streak, man. Something happened. I honestly don't know. I thought she was somewhat good, and then from, recently, the Macy Chasson fight where she got freaking mad. That was a bad elbow. She got bam right on the ground, just blood everywhere. It was bad. But compared to the young buck, Michelle Montegua, she's never lost a professional fight in her MMA career. She's fought in the UFC before. And, her striking is just mwah. The wrestling, mwah. Grappling, mwah. The jiu-jitsu is iffy, but, I think she's going to go in there. And she could really beat Mayra Bueno Silva however she wants. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a decision, a submission, a knockout, TKO, whatever you want to call it. Pretty much the same thing. But, Michelle Montegua is a beast. She's going to go in there, dog walk Mayra Bueno Silva out the UFC, get her spot in the rankings, and, yeah. Michelle Montegua is a dog. She's she's younger. She's a southpaw fighter, so you know she's gonna be throwing them long, loopy punches. And yeah, I think Michelle Montegua by whatever she wants. I believe we're moving on to the main card. I'm not 100% sure. But we got a heavyweight bout between Marcus Buchicha and Ryan Spann. Marcus Buchicha is 5-2 in his MMA career. The 135 favorite, 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw in his last 5. Compared to Ryan Spann, the 115 dog, 23-11 in his MMA career, 2-3 in his last 5. And this should be a really good fight. You know, it's heavyweight. And as of recently, which I believe fight of the year between Josh Hokit and Curtis Blades. But, you know, Josh Hokit's one of my favorite fighters as of right now. You know, that last fight was probably, like, I'd say top 3 fights of all time that I've seen in my life. You know, obviously, like, we've had these crazy wars, Brandon Royval and Joshua Van was a war. Like 90% of Nate Diaz fights, the ones with Connor, especially at least the second one, because the first one was AI. That was a really good fight. What was the other fight that I thought was really good? Poirier and Islam was really good. That was a really banger fight. You know, Poirier's final title shot. If you count the BMF, but you know, I was definitely a banger. So I gotta say those are my top 3. I don't even know why I'm talking about that. But I'm saying right here though, as of recently, the heavyweight fights have been really good. So I have a high, I'm super pumped up for this one. But I took Ryan Spann by KO TKO. I think it would be someone to land a crazy punch. It would be Ryan Spann. His age is, you know, it's a little iffy from both these guys. They're both a little bit older now. Both a little bit unirrelevant. But, I mean, Marcus Buchicha's good. But I just don't think he's good enough to be Ryan Spann. Now, Ryan Spann's been in the UFC a little bit longer. He's more of a veteran. He has more wins, a little bit more losses, but it's just because he's been in the UFC more. I think Ryan Spann goes in there. These dudes start brawling. And eventually, Ryan Spann will catch him. He's just got to land one good one. But it's heavyweight, so whoever lands the first big punch has really got a solid shot. But Marcus Buchicha's getting slumped, I think. Respectfully, he's getting. Or what was that Instagram thing? I think Marcus Buchicha's getting slimed. He's getting slimed out by Ryan Spann. That's my dog. Moving on next, we got Rafa Garcia versus our boy at Onyx Sports, Alexander Hernandez. Clap it up real quick. So hold on, what time is it for the 13? Okay, we're doing good. Yes, we got Rafa Garcia versus Alexander Hernandez. Obviously, we know who we're picking on this, but we got to run down the breakdown. We got a lightweight bout. Rafa Garcia is 18-4 in his MMA career, the 145 dog. 4-1 in his last 5. He's looked really good in his last couple fights. I'll give him that. We got our dog from Onyx Sports from Denver, Colorado. We got Alexander Hernandez, the -170 favorite, 18-8 in his MMA career and 4-1 in his last 5. His last 3 wins being all by knockout with that right hand. So you know we have to run it back. We're taking Alexander Hernandez by knockout. This fool has one of the most meanest right hands ever. Like, if they put that fool with, what's his name? Like, he was supposed to fight a lot ago, Michael Johnson? Brother. Alexander Hernandez would have killed that man. Just literally. Boom! Like, oh my God. Michael Johnson's so weak to that right hand. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, but I edited a video a little bit ago of just a reel of Michael Johnson just always getting clipped with that freaking right hand. You know, Josh Emmett, Drew Dober. There was one other, I believe. I don't know off the top of my head. But, man, Alexander Hernandez can go in there and knock this fool out in the first round. That's my second pick on my 3-pick parlay. Gonna take Alexander Hernandez by KO TKO. That's my dog. Shout outs to Onyx Sports. Shout outs to Factory X. And Alexander Hernandez, Brandon Royval, the whole team over there. And let's go. That's a good fight. And see, right there, that's I like when they do that. Oh, this is a banger fight. We got a bantamweight bout between Montel Jackson And Hani Barcelos, Montel Jackson, and 15-3 in his MMA career. The -140 favorite and 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a big win over Davison Figueiredo a long time ago. Going up against the freaking one of the best veterans in the UFC, Hani Barcelos, the 120 dog, 21-5 in his MMA career, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a win over Cody Garbrandt and Peyton Talbot. 2 really big wins. I mean, Cody's washed now and frankly just gets kicked in the balls every 2 seconds, so I wouldn't say that's a crazy win. But Peyton Talbot just beat the living shit out of Henry Cejudo. And Hani Barcelos beat Peyton Talbot. So, that's a pretty big name on his thing. This fight was right there and right there. I'm going Hani Barcelos, man. Montel Jackson, he barely beat Davison Figueiredo. He's not that really of an exciting fighter. I mean, yeah, he has wins and what. But at the same time, it's hard to go up against Hani Barcelos. He's such a good jiu-jitsu fighter. He's super strong. He could strangle you. He can knock you out. And I really see him winning this fight however he wants. But this right here is a banger. And the fact that he's an underdog, we're switching up. We're not doing a 3-pick parlay. We're doing a 4-pick parlay. Throw Hani Barcelos on there by, just pick him to win. I wouldn't do all the decision, submission, knockout. Just throw on Hani Barcelos. Because that's my dog. He's going to go in there. He's going to dog walk Montel Jackson. But if Montel Jackson shows up how he did before the Davison Figueiredo fight, he might have a solid chance. But I severely doubt it. Moving on to a bantamweight bout. We got Davy Grant versus Adrian Luna Martinini. This fight right here. This right here is what I call straight murder. I mean, it's a bantamweight bout, so these guys are a little bit littler. Davy Grant is 15-8, the 125 dog, and 3-2 in his last 5, and this will be his last fight in the UFC. Not because he's old. Well, he is old. He lived a long, happy life. Well known in the UFC. But he's going against Adrian Luna Martinini, the 145 favorite. 17-1 in his MMA career, 5-0 in his last 5. And if you didn't take Adrian Luna Martinini on your parlay or just picks in general, what you doing, bro? What are we doing here, brother? This dude's gonna go in there and assassinate Davy Grant. He's gonna go in there, he's gonna kill him. Davy Grant doesn't stand a chance. It's like it's like a hydrogen bomb versus like an ant, and Davy Grant would be the ant, Adrian Luna would be the nuclear bomb. Adrian Luna's, I'm being serious, if there would ever be a chance somebody really get hurt, it'd be Davy Grant in this fight. You think freaking what's his face, Sir CT himself, Justin Gaethje took a lot of damage in the UFC? Davy Grant is gonna. I mean, I pray for him. That's all I'm finna say. I really am praying for him because if that goes how I think it's gonna go, he's going bye. But no, shout outs to him though. Took the fight. I don't know why you'd ever do that against a 17-1 freaking killer. He has a lot of knockout wins as well, so he carries power. So. Rest in peace, Davy Grant. Now we got a bantamweight bout between Norma Dumont and Jocelyn Edwards. Norma Dumont is 13-2 in her MMA career, the 160 favorite and 5-0 in her last 5. Compared to Jocelyn Edwards, the 140 dog, 17-6 in her MMA career and 4-1 in her last 5. I think this is gonna be a super close fight. I love Norma Dumont, love Jocelyn Edwards, 2 great women's fighters. Jocelyn Edwards is real good, but at the same time, she has a lot of losses. And the only way I really favor her in this fight is that she's a lot younger than Norma Dumont. Norma Dumont's 35 compared to 30, so she's a lot younger. She has more. I'd say she's probably quicker. But I'm going Norma Dumont on this one. The underdog, or the favorite pick right here. Usually we like rocking with our underdogs, Last time when Edwards was an underdog, he got the biggest win of his career, one of the craziest freaking knockouts in UFC history. Shout out to Leon Edwards against Kamaru Usman. I don't even remember. It was like 290. No, I'd say it was even the 90s. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But yeah, I think Norma Dumont's gonna go in there. She's gonna suffocate Jocelyn Edwards with the wrestling and jiu-jitsu. And it's gonna be a snooze fest, so give me Norma Dumont by a decision, you know. And crazy, nothing but a G thing. But moving on to the main event of the evening, we got a featherweight bout between Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling going up against Youssef, the Moroccan Devil Zalal. Shout out Youssef Zalal. He also trains at Onyx Sports. Shoutouts to him. He trains the team. Aljo is 25-5 in his MMA career. Former champion at bantamweight. The 125 dog and 3-2 in his last 5. One of those losses being to Mavsar Ivilov. But I believe it was a robbery. They just favored to Mavsar Ivilov. Going up against the Moroccan Devil, one of the most hyped up prospects in the UFC right now. I think this is crazy that Aljo's an underdog. But yeah, Youssef Zalal is the 145 favorite, 18-5 in his MMA career, and 5-0 in his last 5, coming off 3 submission wins back to back against Josh Emmett. With some of his probably his biggest loss, and hear me out, this is like his worst fighter on his resume. Like, no, not worst fighter, but like best fighter that he fought on his resume. Like, he fought Ilia Topuria and he made him go to a decision. One of the best fighters in UFC right now. I believe the real pound for pound #1. You know, he just came back after knocking out Oliveira, Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski. Now he's going on to kill Justin Gaethje next. But, you know, Youssef Zalal, he's good. As much as I hate to say it, he's not ready yet. Sure, he beat Josh Emmett, but Josh Emmett just got knocked out by that, he just got knocked out by that one for, Violos, I believe his name is. So, you know, I think Josh Emmett's lost it. He needs to retire. And Youssef Zalal, I like him, but he is just not ready yet. I would be more confident in taking him if he had, like, a win over, like, Yair Rodriguez or, you know, Diego Lopez, but he hasn't. He hasn't gotten a win over none of those guys really in the top 5. I think Aljo definitely has a good chance to become double champion if he wins this and gets a title shot. I just think they'll probably end up giving it to Movscar first, but then after that, Volkanovski versus Aljo, or the winner of Evilov and Volkanovski will end up fighting Aljo, I believe. And this will be obviously the 5th pick on my parlay. I'll take Aljamain Sterling either by decision or I don't think he's gonna knock him out. But I think Aljo's definitely going there. Either he can win this fight by submission or decision, however he wants. But this should be a really good fight. One of my favorite fights in this division as of right now. I like Youssef Zalal a lot. I believe he is gonna take a loss here, but he'll come back. He'll have another shot at getting a big win. This is not his night. I think Aljo's really good. You know, he's former champion. There's a lot of wins, big names in the UFC. He's beaten Piotr Jan. He's beaten, what the hell's his name? Was it, Yair that he fought at 300? Who did he fight at 300? I think it was, Calvin Kattar. You know, he had that crazy fight with Giga Chikadze, but he's been on the fall off ever since. He did actually get knocked out by Marlon Morales, but he beat TJ Dillashaw with one arm. He beat Henry Cejudo to defend his title. You know, he was probably one of the best bantamweight champs, other than, you know, like Dominic Cruz, Merab as of right now, but at the time he was. But yeah, he also was a teammate of Merab, so he knows he has that crazy Georgian wrestling. But I want to wrap this card up so I can watch some fights. This has been another episode of Fight Belladon. I'm your host, Cash Money, the Mr. Paper Taker, Mr. Take Your Chinny Chin Chin, Mr. Make This Parlay Real Quick. And we out, y'all.